Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Community of Homes virtual programme. In these sessions, we're going to be exploring creative well-being. We're going to begin each session with a meditation to help us relax our minds and our bodies and focus on being creative. We will also explore identity, our likes, our dislikes, and the similarities and differences we have from each other, which help make us the unique individuals who we are. Each week we will be guided by Sinead to create artworks using a range of different art materials. I would ask you to keep your original artworks safe, take photos of them and email them or WhatsApp them to me on the numbers and the email address that you have. By the end of this project we will create a book together, a book of our collective artworks, which will be a reflective tool for us to look back on our learning and the experiences we have had in this project, and it will also be a tool for our friends and our peers so that they can be introduced to the concepts of creative well-being as well. Thank you everybody and enjoy this session.
Please sit into your chair and relax. Let your hands hang by your sides. Open or close your eyes as you wish. Feel the chair supporting your back and your legs. Breathe in slowly, counting to 4, and slowly out again. Drop your chin a little and feel the muscles on the back of your neck working. Lift your chin and move your head to look across to your shoulder, and then to the other shoulder. Move your head to face forward again, and now we begin. As you relax, I want you to imagine that you're lying in the biggest, comfiest bed. The mattress beneath you is soft but also supportive, and you find yourself sinking into it deeper and deeper. The blanket around you is so soft and cozy, and you feel its warmth wrapping around you. As you lie in this bed, you find yourself relaxing more and more, and eventually falling asleep. As you imagine yourself sleeping in this amazing bed, take notice of what time of day it is. Is it dark outside? Have you just come home from a busy day of school? Whatever time of day it is, remember that it is okay. Our body will tell us when it is time to sleep, time to recharge. As you lie there, consider this thought. If you could sleep whenever you wanted, when would you sleep? As you lie there in your imaginary bed, a warm ball of light fills the room. This ball of light could be whatever color you want. Maybe it's gold, or green, or blue, or red. This ball of light that you see fills you with warmth, with courage, with power. As you bathe in the light, you are reminded that whatever time of day it may be, you are allowed to listen to your body. You are allowed to take a nap. You are allowed to sleep. Gradually, the light starts to fade, and slowly you begin to wake up. First, your toes begin to wiggle, and then your fingers. In your own time, slowly open your eyes and blink them a few times. Finally, stretch your arms out wide, give your body a shake, and return to the here and now.
So this week we are going to look at sleep patterns, and we are going to need a pen, a pencil, ruler, a bit of rough notepaper, and our sketchbooks, paints and paintbrushes, and no cat. So to start off with, I just break it down to 24 hours in a day, and then look at that divided by the number of hours you sleep and the number of hours you're awake. So it was best here for me to divide the 24 by 2 and do it in units of 2 up the left hand side of the page, and at the bottom I did the days of the week, Monday right through to Sunday. So we had a pattern of 7 days and the 24 hours broken into squares of 2. So this is really to develop a pattern from, and the hours that you have been sleeping, if you can round them up or round them down into that 2-hour block, just to get a sense of when you're awake and when you're not awake, or when you're sleeping, actually, I suppose you would call that. So here I'm just breaking it up on the page with pencil. And I've gone to fetch something there, come back. I just wanted a rough straight line to use to draw with the marker. So I've used a Sharpie here. You can use whatever you have handy. I didn't want to use the ruler because it's not my ruler. It belongs to my little nephew, and I didn't want to get big black marks on it. And so rubbing out all the lines then, and the important bit now is thinking about patterns that you're going to create in these squares. So this type of art is called abstract formalized colorism. I'm sure it's called many things as well as that, but we're taking the idea of an actual activity that we do, and we're going to represent it in a kind of a graph form. So here I'm drawing 3 smaller squares to see what I might like the best. Keep it simple. As you can see, I just did a T shape there. I just broke the square into 3 sections. I'm kind of just deciding what to do. Yeah, so I curved that line, and I like that, and probably number 1 as well. Oh, I'm going to change it to make it a little more interesting. Okay, yeah. So one of these is going to represent my sleeping hours, and one is going to represent me when I'm awake. So I've looked at the days of the week and kind of roughly guessed how many hours. Now I have a child who wakes up every night without fail, and I just factored that in, being awake for an hour during the night time. He also gets up at 7:30 every morning, so every other day I might get a lie in, so I have an extra half an hour. So the first day, on the Monday, I've broken it up, starting with the sleeping from the bottom. And the Tuesday, I've kind of thought, I'll do the sleeping from the top down. So I have Monday started at the bottom with my sleeping hours. Tuesday started at the top with my sleeping hours, and then I'm awake at the bottom. And then Wednesday, sleeping hours at the bottom, just to give a wee bit of variation. It actually ends up looking a little bit like a weave, and this style of watercolour painting can often be called a weave. So I've outlined everything in pen, or the marker rather, and I'm just rub out all those wee guidelines in pencil. So I'm just messing around with the colour here and deciding which kind of 3 colours I might go with. I really like, as you know, blue and green and yellow, but I decided here to go with green, blue, and then look at your colour wheel, or look at a colour wheel that you can check it out on Google anytime, or any other search engine that's available to you. And I chose orange because it is a complementary colour to blue. So they make each other pop, they're opposite each other in the colour wheel. And then the green would be an algorithmic colour to blue. That's their relationship, because they're kind of similar. So just filling in. So you remember that the blue is the primary colour, and green is the secondary colour when you mix blue and yellow together, and orange is also a secondary colour, and that's when you mix red and yellow. Fill marks if you got that right. Right, so I'm going in here with my paintbrush, lots of water, and if I get too much water on the actual paper, I can dry off the brush and just go in again and lift the water off. It's not a big problem. Or if you have a little tissue handy, that can be useful too. So here's me going in, scribbling away, doing all these wee squares. Now, there are several artists who present this type of work. One famous artist would have been Paul Klee, who was Swiss-born, a German artist with a huge following. And modern Irish artists would be, Mary Swansea's not modern, but she's an Irish artist, and Helen Blake, and you can look those up, they're very interesting.
Hello. Today we're going to learn all about sleep. After a long day, sleep allows for the body and the brain to recharge. Our bodies have their own internal clock, which tells us when it is time to sleep and when it is time to be awake. Things such as sunlight and temperature are used by our body clock to decide when it is time to sleep. When we sleep, our brains are processing all the information we received when we were awake to help form memories. As well as this, sleep allows for our body to look after itself by growing and strengthening our disease-fighting system and repairing muscles. Over the course of the night, when you sleep, you go through several rounds of the sleep cycle. The sleep cycle is composed of 4 individual stages: REM, N1, N2, and N3. On a typical night, a person goes through 4 to 6 sleep cycles. Depending on our age, we need to sleep for different lengths of time. As we get older, the recommended hours of sleep get shorter. When we are babies, we need about 12 to 15 hours of sleep. When we become adults, we only need 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. The National Sleep Foundation recommends that teenagers aged 14 to 17 get approximately 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day. Teenagers' body clocks naturally favour late bedtimes and late starts. This is because teenagers' bodies don't start making melatonin the hormone that causes sleep, until around 11 p.m. If you've ever wondered why teenagers like staying up late, it's all down to their biology. In our society, we typically sleep during the night, waking up early in the morning. Unless it's a baby or an old person, we generally don't nap during the day. In other countries, the sleep schedule is much different. I'm sure most people will have heard of a siesta. From 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., Spanish people are encouraged to take a midday nap. The main reason for a siesta is that it allows people to be out of the midday sun, which can be really hot in Spain. In Japan, they have inumeri, which basically means sleeping on the job. People in Japan are often very busy, so try to sleep whenever they can. Sleeping at school or work is seen as a sign of a hard worker and is actually encouraged. And that's all you need to know about sleep. Before you leave, I have a question for you. If you had the choice, when would you sleep? Would you take midday naps like the Spanish, sleep on the job like the Japanese, or nap whenever you feel like it?